In two ways, God speaks to human beings. Through the word and through the actions. To communicate His word to us, God uses the prophets. The famous teacher St. Augustine said, through men and in a human way, God speaks to us. Because speaking in this way, He seeks us. Today, we meet Amos. Amos en español. One of the most important prophets of the Old Testament. Far from being a reformist prophet, Amos believed that it was necessary to make deep, profound changes in the life of the people of Israel, both in the field of economy as in the application of justice and even in the religion. It was necessary because those who were suffering the most were the poorest people, who were exploited in such a way that they ended up becoming slaves. In Latin American theology, this is not in the sermon, in the Latin American theology, Amos is very important to read. The judges were not interested in the application of the justice, but in benefiting the most powerful people. The merchants exploited the poorest, the leaders neglected the needs of the people and were accomplices of those who had power. This is the context where Amos, producer of figs and dedicated to shepherding, develops his word as a prophet. Amos then found resistance from Amaziah. I don't know if it's exactly pronunciation in English, but in Spanish it's Amaziah, who was a priest of the Bethel house, a house known for its idolatrous worship. With all the power he had, he organized a smear campaign against the prophet Amos. A campaign based on rumors a Messiah hired corrupt troublemakers to bring down the prophet Amos. Yes, rumors. To this day, also the full politics and campaigns are treating to destabilize any credibility of any leader or any organization that is interested in defending the rights of the more poorest. The people who try to defend the human rights However, Amos trusted who he was and trusted by God had called him to do. Oftentimes, the lack of this confidence sends the ministry into a tailspin and throws he will be prophet into a sea of confusion. Amos made very bold moves. He went to the royal temple at Bethel and informed the idolaters and their priests that God was putting a plumb line against that house, the house of Jeroboam, and that the king Israel and his leadership were probably crooked by the plumb line. Plumb line is a string with a weight used to measure how straight a wall is. It's very important for the people who work in the construction, you know. Now, a Messiah, angered by Amos' message, sent word to the king that a troublemaker is conspiring against him. The prophet word always disturbs those in the type of power that is contrary to justice and liberation. God does not support the injustice, the oppressive governments, the oppressive systems. Those who occupy such power are seldom willing to relinquish it or make the type of adjustment that align with God's will and way. The question is, what do you see? And this is a very important question. What do you see around us? What do you see in our community? What do you see around our world? What do you see in our country? All the time in the prayer requests, we are praying for our country. Because in some time, we feel that justice for everyone. Violence, violence, violence. But the question is, what do you see? What do you see in Hillsboro? What do you see in Cornelius? What do you see in Forest Grove? Are we bold enough to proclaim to a broken world, a bitter, anger-driven world that God has set a plumb line in our midst? Are we able to endure the attacks that come to us when we speak truth to power? Are we able to answer God's call to engage the prophetic work, even if that work is done from the margins? Or will we pass by like the priest and the Levite in the story of the Good Samaritan? But this is not our reality here in Hillsboro. we are very interested in support the poorest people.